The Flogcast may occasionally contain explicit content that makes it not safe for work or for minors. It also doesn't provide an excuse to use the same words on Bay 13. Normal Big Footy rules still apply.
Alright, so this is the Flogcast for round 11. The emotionally checked out Tiger Starburns is here, and I'm joined by the Andrew Mackey of podcast from St Kilda Cookson.
Hello all.
From Collingwood, we also have the suburban netballer Morgan Ashley.
Hola.
And finally, from North, we have the Flogcast resident flicker of switches, Dan.
Where does the flicking the switches thing come from? I don't get that. Is that some autistic thing, is it?
No, it's OCD, but someone mixed up their disorders.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Haha. Very, very good. That's what I do. I flick switches. Compulsive need to flick switches. Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Mm.
It figured me out.
Goes without saying, really. Fits your profile.
Yeah, it just drives the neighbours nuts. They think there's an emergency or something, and they end up knocking on the door. Like, what's going on? It's like, nah, it's just my thing, guys. Sorry, everything's all right. Sorry. I get very depressed when we have a power outage. There's no light on in the house.
Lucky you don't live in South Australia.
Are you like Jack Nicholson and as good as it gets? You can't step on the cracks?
Yeah, that's really weird. He's got a number of those sort of OCD things, hasn't he? He's got a... What was the other one? He's got to bring his own cutlery.
Yeah, different soap every time, and he brings his own cutlery. It's always disposable.
I feel sorry for those people. I mean, that's genuine, that shit. If you can't help it, you can't help it.
Yeah, I know, and we feel sorry for you.
Well thank you. That means something. Thank you.
We do care, Dan. It does seem like we don't sometimes, but...
No, you don't. But even the thing still warms my heart a little bit. Are we going to talk any more about switches, or are we going to...
No. We're gonna. No. I was about to say let's move on to.
I'm getting bored. I have this urge to start flicking switches. Let's go.
Let's move on to Goo or Tears. Who wants to go first?
I'm gonna have some goo. It's true. Decent weekend of sport. I mean, Gareth Bale produced one of the best goals seen for a while. Ricardo wins at Monaco. Will Power wins Indy 500. Gresham kicked 5. Decent weekend of sport.
See, one of those things doesn't seem to belong with the rest. I'm not sure which one. Can anyone help me out? Just doesn't those three don't sound like they belong together.
I know. Some of them seem like winners, and the other one seems like not.
Who's Jade Gresham?
His name's not Jack.
Oh yeah, Bosk. His name's not Jack. In the thread, he called him Jack Gresham because everyone's called Jack.
Maybe he's trying to be funny.
Well, I gave him the benefit of the doubt, so I didn't correct him, but I didn't laugh.
It's about as funny as that staring fucking thread he made 5 minutes ago.
Hey, I don't mind that thread. Did anyone know you're pissed off because Barrett tagged you?
No, I'm not pissed. I'm confused as to what he means by that.
The world is out to get you, Dan. That's what he meant.
I'm pissed off at the world. Is that my reflection?
Yes, that is.
It's about as funny as the watch, which is...
The Flogcast professional victim, Dan.
Anyway, so Cookson's got Goo for 2 winners and someone else. Guy not called Jack. Anything else? You want to elaborate further?
Paddy McCartan for showing that Rance is overrated.
What did McCartan actually do? Did McCartan kick a goal on the weekend?
He literally just went 60 metres out, got the ball, passed it to someone else. Goal assist.
A goal assist.
It's not his fault Alex Rance is too stupid enough to worry about 50 loose men instead of, manning the opponent.
Congratulations on your 1 goal assist, Paddy Hakes.
He had about 6 or 7, so well done, Paddy.
How many shots did he miss?
At least 1 sitter.
Wasn't it one that Bill Brownless said he would have kicked it with his dick? On the commentary, I found that very amusing.
If Bill Brownless could have kicked that with his dick, his wife never would have left him for Gary Lyon.
Well, he's like talking up Big Paddy, and then he's like, Paddy, you can't miss that. I would have kicked that with me dick. Interesting thing to have your girlfriend's dad say about you.
The fuck, Billy?
It's funny.
Hang on. Paddy McCartan's girlfriend's dad is Bill Brownless.
Yes.
It's come up on here before, I believe.
I had no idea. Okay.
Mia Favola's going out with Daniel Rioli.
Yeah, you've mentioned that one a few times.
No, I mentioned it, I think, first when it was that St Kilda flog Josh Battle.
Who's Josh Battle?
Plays for St Kilda, apparently. Another St Kilda no name.
Is he in the leadership group as well?
He's
Yes,
vice
Dan.
captain. Vice captain.
Who's vice captain? Daniel Rioli. Mm-hmm.
How old is she?
18.
Okay.
She was 17 when she was going out with Josh Battle.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the laws in this country regarding.
I imagine
which
you're not,
country are you
considering you
familiar
like
with
to
them?
make the accusations of people like Pants Kyle.
I
Listen,
don't think the laws of the country don't bother you.
you gave that guest legs, and that's your fault for
What?
doing so.
Anyway, I was going to ask something else about the Goot. Did you actually? You would have liked this, Cookson. Ricardo did everything this weekend. Did you see him catch that pass from Tom Brady?
Yeah, beautiful drop punt in return.
Yeah, no gloves either. Take that, Des Bryant. Who's next?
I'll give the people what they want. I've got tears for the Boston Celtics. I've got Guru for LeBron James, who once again puts a team of absolute fucking potatoes on his back and carries them into a final series. I think that any debate about whether or not he's the greatest of all time comes to an end. He is the greatest of all time.
Really?
I think so. Well, Michael Jordan is 1 win, 9 losses without Scottie Pippen.
Oh.
And LeBron has never had anybody like that for an extended period of time. And he, this year, has shown that he has done it all by himself, with the actual handicap of having to play with Kevin Love, which is just poor bastard. So, yeah, he's the greatest of all time.
I think Americans do overstate rings quite a lot. I know basketball's much more individualized in that, you know, you can be a good player and carry a team further, but they're not the be-all and end-all.
Yeah, that's me. Tears. And Guru for being in the top 8.
Weren't you there last week?
No, I don't think so.
That leaves myself or Dan. Who wants to go next?
Guess I'll go. I have tears, and I have legitimate tears. On Friday, I broke my leg.
Oh!
Cookson, are you laughing?
No. No!
Who laughed?
Oh, I was on mute. I didn't laugh.
I didn't laugh either.
I heard the sound of chortling. Who laughed?
I didn't hear any laughter, but now I'm laughing.
Someone laughed.
I think you were just waiting for it, and you imagined it.
How did you break your leg, Dad?
My leg's in a cast, and I can't move. And some of you think it's funny.
Were you being a suburban footballer?
I was on my dirt bike, and I had a Humpty Dumpty moment and fell somewhat awkwardly. And
Maybe it was the Morgs' people laughing. No, she was on mute.
I was on mute.
someone giggled, and I heard it instantly. It's either you, Starburns, or Cookson. It wasn't Morgan.
I legitimately didn't hear anybody laugh.
That tells me your character as a person. If you're willing to laugh at someone else's,
Nobody laughed, Dan.
I don't imagine things. I heard something.
I'm going to have to forensically go over this recording.
You may have jumped at shadows, Dan.
Yeah. Also, I don't really have a broken leg. I just made it up because I just wanted to see who was going to laugh at me and who didn't.
Oh, fucking no broken leg and no laughter.
No broken leg. No, it's called the cunt test. So basically, I find out who wants to laugh at my demise and who doesn't. So congratulations to Morgan who passed.
Yay.
There's a questionable.
She was on mute. You don't know if she laughed or not.
Well, she gets the benefit of the doubt. You, however, and Cookson, the stabbing in the back trader, are on notice.
Oh, fuck.
potentially laughing at my demise.
No one
Just
laughed.
showed your real colours as a human being by trying to laugh at someone else's demise.
You
Someone
didn't
else
die. Stop saying demise.
You're faking. That is a bigger
Liar of
comeback.
the year. That I was about to say. Dan might have his cunt test, but we have liar of the year.
No, I think the cunt test carries more weight than... We all lie on this every week. What are you talking about?
Dan, actually, maybe you
when this
did break your
uploads-
leg. And you're all paranoid.
No, I didn't. I wanted to do this little exercise just to see who is on my side and who isn't.
There's no fuck.
And now
Oh my
I know.
god!
I'm
I
on
just
your
edited
side.
last week's outtakes. You were saying this last week. There are no sides, Dan.
Yes, there are. Mine and Dan's side, and then your side.
Look at you trying to fucking suck up to Dan.
I'm the only one who's been given the benefit of the doubt. Suck shit.
And I bet you were the only one who actually laughed too.
I honestly didn't laugh.
We know you have a
I
history
didn't
of laughing at injuries.
No, but I felt bad, and I didn't laugh. But I'm laughing now.
I'm fucking
You guys-
laughing now too. I didn't laugh to begin with,
guys
but I'm laughing
terrible.
now.
This isn't Sue's breaking an arm or something. I mean,
Oh.
you can't laugh. Vance.
Your hypothetical leg break that nobody laughed at.
Yeah, someone laughed. I heard laugh because I was waiting for it, and I could hear the slightest sound of chortling from somebody. And I thought it was Cookson.
What
It
you
could have been
probably
something.
what you probably heard was just normal breathing.
Yeah.
No, well, anyway, this is disappointing because some of you guys are just pricks, and you know, you had a colleague who had an unfortunate accident, and you thought it
No,
was appropriate
didn't.
to have a giggle, a bit of a laugh.
No, we didn't have a colleague have an unfortunate accident. We had a colleague lie to get some sympathy.
He lied for the greater good to find out who was on his side and who wasn't. And unfortunately, the picture isn't any clearer because I don't know whether it was really Cookson or...
You should have
You
been
stuff.
watching the Skype thing to see whose thing lit up if you thought there was laughter.
You're right, I should have, and now, you know, I can't. We're all geniuses in hindsight. I'll be intrigued as to... Don't you edit this out. I'm going to listen to this very, very carefully.
There is nobody laughed.
Dan, you're not helping your case out here, man.
I promise you though, if I do uncover that Cookie laughed, I will leave it in.
We will hang him out to dry.
You will edit it out. You're a dog.
Anyway, do you have any actual ghoul tears, or have you
No,
with your witch hunt your ghoul tears?
no, I can't muster the strength to even
You,
think of anything. I'm very disheartened.
you don't have the strength to make a stand.
That's right. I'm very confused, and I don't know who's on my team and who isn't.
Oh, there's no fucking teams.
This is a team.
I was on your team. What do you mean?
Only one person in the team.
Team North.
Anyway, I have goo.
No one cares.
Shut up, Dan. We listen to your lies, so we're going to listen to my goo. I have goo for the AFL's role model, the NFL, who have decided to hand out fines to any of those players attention whoring by kneeling during the national anthem. Now, this has been going on for far too long. It's ridiculous. It's so unpatriotic of them. Really, it's quite disgraceful. Like, these guys are trying to make a stand. Like, you don't see Andy Dalton or Carson Wentz fucking kneeing, and they have a lot more reason to be feel hard done by than...
Dan doesn't get it. Dan doesn't get it. He doesn't know who they are.
Yeah, they're the red-headed players of the NFL who have far more reason to be
Okay.
far more
your
reason
Nathan
to
Drummond
feel
equivalent.
hard done by than the
Yeah.
African
Of
American
course.
ones. So, you know, they're not making a big fuss, and they should, but they're not. They've got every right to, but they're not. So good on.
Aren't people allowed to freedom of expression?
It is literally the First Amendment, you know, the one that comes before the one that they always sook about getting overturned.
I had no idea that. So you have to stand for the national anthem.
No. Freedom of speech is the
Freedom of
First
speech is the
Amendment.
first.
It's the one that comes before the one with the guns that they get all uppity about. But God, you've shut down you can shut down the first one, but the second one, no siree. But yes, good on the NFL because, you know, if the Rangers don't feel they need to kneel, then I don't think the African American players do they?
No.
No, yeah?
Yeah,
I
I'm with
agree.
you. I forget, was this your goo or your tears?
Goo, because the NFL are coming down on the attention whores like Colin Kaepernick and fucking
Who else, Starburns?
Ed Reed. And
It's easy to come down on Colin Kaepernick. He's not going to have to kneel on the sideline next
that's
year.
true. Yeah, that's true. Also, congratulations to Carson Wentz on his recent marriage as well last weekend. I think a lot of people watched it. In all seriousness, all redhead jokes aside, it's really my tears. If Dan's allowed to pull a bait and switch, so am I. It's my tears because fucking how tone deaf do you have to be to alienate basically 70% of your playing base and a large portion of the country purely because you play the national anthem before every game and a couple of them kneel? Like, who gives a fuck?
Why don't they just stop playing the anthem?
Yeah, oh, yes, well.
Like, I swear to God, if somebody fucking plants a tree in that country, they play the anthem. You don't need to play it this many times.
No, like...
It's unnecessary.
We have it before finals, and that feels like too much for me.
Mm-hmm. It's unnecessary.
You don't need it. You don't need 50 bloody US airplanes flying over a flag the size of a field.
For America.
It's America. Weird place full of weird people.
Oh, I was going to have tears as well for Danica Patrick. Poor Danica Patrick crashed in her last race. I'm sure she'll go on to live a nice little life in the shadow of her actual successful sports person partner. Because driving's not a sport.
It is not, especially when all you do is make a left turn. The best comment I saw about that was at least one of them can finish a drive. Anyone else want to weigh in on the fucking fines for kneeling?
Yeah, it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. And the fact that they've come to this decision, but then some owners are willing to pay it for their players, which just says that they didn't come to this decision as a whole. They didn't consult the players at all. They didn't consult the Players Association when they made this rule.
So you have to stand.
They're literally, right? Yes, they're literally.
Well, you didn't have to. You to
their fan base. Because
what if you've got a broken leg and you can't stand?
Well, then you shouldn't be on the field. It's at the start of the game, not the end.
Then the NFL failed the cunt test.
Yeah, well, maybe you're a liar. Yeah, I just think it's really unnecessary. People have the right to peaceful protest. And if you're going to be censoring people, then you shouldn't be doing it on such a big stage. People can see you.
Americans and their fucking flags and anthems and guns. Makes all of our silly little controversies pale in comparison. Anyway, that's all of us. So let's roll into what is the reviews. And we will begin with... Normally we go for the closest game of the round, but I think it is only fair that we start with the biggest blowout of the round because this said a lot about both teams playing and it was clear it was not expected. So Melbourne absolutely shitting on the Crows.
I think it just goes to show again that Adelaide can't travel.
Oh, this isn't a travel thing. They forfeited. They didn't play.
Funny that you mentioned the travelling because this is the first time I think they've been into the middle of nowhere since the infamous camp. So if anything was to trigger the PTSD and Tex and co, it was going to be a trip to Alice Springs. They saw the desert and Nowheresville around and they started having fucking Vietnam-style flashbacks.
I have a question. Why haven't they chopped down that fucking tree yet?
You do this every year.
The tree's the best part about it.
The tree's awesome.
No, it's not. And upon viewing some of this game, there's actually more than one tree that's around the rim of the playing arena.
Got to make it even, both ends.
No, this is stupid. If you were willing to chop down 50 to 100 trees to create a footy oval, then what's so sacred about the ones that are around the rim of the playing arena? It's amateurish. you end up getting a footy stuck in the tree, and some official or fan's got to climb it to retrieve it. Ridiculous.
And what part of that is not awesome?
It's not awesome. It's amateurish. It's crap. Chop the trees down.
It's fantastic. I want to see somebody climb that tree, no shoes on, fucking ripper.
Yeah, and then someone falls out of the tree and they end up suing the AFL and the clubs.
Oh, with what lawyers, please?
Strategy.
I was at a venue and someone broke their leg.
Shut up,
and
Dan.
they end up suing. Well, it's just silly. There's a tree next to it's actually on the ground technically, but it's near the playing arena, and it's just stupid. I don't care if it's got ancestral dream time relevance to it. Chop them down and turn them into didgeridoos or abo art. I don't care. They gotta go.
You got Lee and Jarrah to take the fucking axe to it.
The trees have got to go. What am I one out on this? Do you guys want the trees to stay?
Dan,
Yes.
this is at least the second time we've had this discussion on here.
Why stop with the trees just being around the rim? Why didn't they leave one or two in the actual playing arena?
Because
Because
that's
that
the
would be
playing
stupid.
arena.
Yeah, well, who cares? Kick it to me. I'm in a tree. Yay.
Kick it to me, I'm in a tree.
Yay!
No, seriously, it's absurd.
Oh, so the 18 pushed back.
Just chop it down.
Why do you hate the tree so much?
Because it's right next to the play. It looks odd.
Oh, is it hurting you?
Oh, what kind of bullshit sort of excuse is that? Oh, is it hurting you? Is it hurting you, Dan? Is it hurting you? No, it just looks stupid. It's just an observation. I've probably played on hundreds of different suburban football grounds playing cricket and footy throughout my life, and I've never seen trees that close to the playing arena. It's just dumb, stupid. I mean, seriously, they had to have chopped down at least 50 to have that oval there in the first place. So what's
Get
so
over
special
the
about?
fucking tree.
No, I'm going to keep bringing this up every
We
time
know.
Melbourne plays a game up there.
I know, I look forward to it
Or
next
until at
year.
least someone chops it down.
So Melbourne played well.
Yes, they did.
It's May. Relax yourselves.
But they did play well. You cannot deny that they played well. They have
Yeah,
a
they
pretty
did.
good May prelim final.
No, well, they've won 5 in a row, which, look, has got to be given credit for. Well done. 5 in a row. It's May. Relax. But, how many did Gorn kick?
Wait, Gorn kicked goals?
He kicked it behind.
No, he didn't. That was my point.
Oh.
So they kicked 23 goals, and their premier ruckman in the competition can't kick one. Go and get fucked.
Well, they had like 4 players, 20 and 3.
Well, he only 12 and zeroed.
Are you getting a bit defensive because Max Gawn is a clearly better player than Grundy, and you desperately want Grundy to win the All-Australian award?
I don't desperately want anyone to win an
I
All-Australian
think-
award.
I think you do.
I don't. But
I
I
think
was just having this discussion on Facebook this week, and I see that
Why
Gawn
are you shitting
had-
Max Gawn? He's had a terrific year.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
He's had a
Yeah.
good year.
Watched him play this year?
Yeah. He had 12 disposals on the weekend, Dan. 12.
Okay. Well, what about the other 9 games he's played this year? Have you seen those?
Yeah, I can guarantee you he's had less influence than Grundy in every game.
Okay. I don't think Grundy's going to win the All-Australian or just by
No, neither do I. But that doesn't mean he doesn't deserve to. But given that there's one ruck spot,
Maybe they'll give it to Nan Curvis because he's an A-grader.
I never said that. I said he was fucking good. I never said he was an A-grader. He did give Grundy. He did give Grundy a bath, though. Well, not a bath, but he beat Grundy.
he was injured.
Oh, here we go. There he
He
had
was
broken
injured.
leg.
He had a broken leg that day. No, but yeah, Nankervis did get the better of Grundy absolutely that day. Credit where it's due.
Anyway, back to this game. There were a couple of things out of it that I thought were quite amusing. How was Don Pike going full fucking rape eyes at the, was it 3/4 time huddle?
Yeah.
You'd be concerned if you were an Adelaide player. I mean, you already got post-traumatic stress disorder, and you got crazy eyes looking through your soul.
Well, he's looking for a soul. There wasn't even a heartbeat amongst those players.
Mm.
That's pretty disappointing, though. Like, it wasn't even an effort. It was just terrible.
They forfeited. They were mentally beat before they even played. The fact that they had to travel from Adelaide to get to Desert Tree Stadium, away in where is it? Was it Darwin?
Alice Springs.
Alice Springs.
Alice Springs, yeah, the arsehole end of Australia. Yeah, the fact that they had to get on a plane for probably 6 hours or so, probably.
It's not 6 hours.
Oh,
But
I don't know. How long was it?
it doesn't take 6 hours to get anywhere in Australia.
Really? Not even Sydney to Perth?
No.
What was that?
Might take 6 hours on a bus, blindfolded.
Well, the point is they were mentally shot.
They all had broken legs and broken hearts.
Broken souls. So Lever was right. Yeah?
He definitely turned his back on success, I feel. One other thing I wanted to make note of that was quite funny, Melbourne, just about everything went right for Melbourne, except, anyone see Jesse Hogan on 3/4 time?
No.
Are you talking about the goal? The set shot goal?
The set shot goal when the siren went and then he played on.
Well, that's just unlucky.
No, that's not unlucky. The siren had clearly gone. He still decided to play on, then shat himself, realised what he's doing, and drills the drop punt, but he's already stepped outwards.
I don't like rule changes, but if I'm ever favour for one rule, and that should be if your set shot should include that running to the side sort of arc kick. You know what I mean?
Right, but then anyone can run to wherever the fuck they want.
No, but you still got to have a perimeter sort of someone being on the mark. See, it's not like a free for all where you can just improve the angle dramatically. You still got to kick the ball. If you go sideways, you can only move like 2 or 3 meters. The guy's on the mark. That's going to F someone in a grand final or in a final.
In a grand final, it hasn't happened yet.
It will though.
The only thing I could see that I reckon would work in that scenario is where, like in the international rules, where you have to give away the goals further if you want to step out. You know how in the international rules they come in from the side, but they still eventually have to kick it over the man on the mark when they come from side on. I could see that working where you'd have to actually step further to the boundary, but that's the only scenario I can see where that would be acceptable, but I still don't like it. Anything else out of that game?
Chop down the tree. Or trees. There's more than one.
Tree lives matter.
There's one tree next to the goalpost that looks dead. There's no leaves on it or anything, and it's still there.
Well, it's autumn, man.
You sure that wasn't text?
Yeah, it's just of course it's awesome.
I said autumn.
Oh, it's autumn. I thought you said awesome. Sorry.
The leaves have fallen off.
Well, no, that's not. Well, the other tree, the main one that everyone loves, it's still got its leaves, and that one.
Yeah, well, maybe that's a stronger tree.
This wasn't an autumn thing. This tree was dead.
This sounds like an autism thing.
And it needs to be taken out of the ground.
No.
Just chop it up, turn it into some extra seats or something so people can sit on them.
People can sit in the tree if they want to.
No, they can't, because then they end up falling into the playing arena or breaking their legs. This is a professional sport. It's amateurish.
I think it's fine.
Because climbing trees is what you do, little kid like you.
That's a cheap shot.
Yeah, I get to climb the tree. I'm Starburns. Yeah.
Buy me some smokes, Dan.
I get to go to my little cubby house in the tree. Yay!
Buy me some smokes.
Fuck off, you little shit. Not buying you anything.
Next game, the Hawthies hosted West Coast and couldn't get it done at Etihad. What do we have out of this game?
I did not watch a single minute of this game.
I mean, West Coast are pretty good. Andrew Gaff's in ripping form. Mitchell's a crab.
You looking forward to Gaff coming to St Kilda, Cookson?
Oh, it should be lovely. Along with, if you believe rumours today, Jeremy McGovern.
Yeah, please take Gaff. I don't want Gaff in North Melbourne.
Who do you want at North, Dan?
Well, the other name you mentioned will do, McGovern, or maybe DeGoey would be nice.
No, you've got no hope. That's all.
No, fuck off. No.
You do. It's a fact.
Yeah, I know. Just stop saying it because I forget your name.
No. No hope.
Regarding Andrew Gaff, he's just a stat merchant who plays on the wing, who just gets easy stats. He doesn't get a tag because he does nothing special. He just collects the ball a lot.
Do you fail the cunt test if you laugh after Moho breaks her leg?
No, I wouldn't wish that upon her. That's just really shitty.
But then she doesn't play for North.
Injuries on anybody. I'm not like you or Cookson.
You literally skipped the only person who actually laughs at injuries on here.
Well,
but I didn't laugh at Dan.
Yeah, but she didn't laugh at my expense, unlike you and Cookson.
Fuck, 3 weeks ago she was a bitch, and now she's your best friend.
Well, that's what best friends do. They can call each other names when they're off. You know, you couldn't get away with saying that with an acquaintance or a work colleague now, could you? Hey, bitch, how's it going?
But she's sort of like a North supporter, so shouldn't you like hate her based on your form, your track record?
Stop trying to drive a wedge between Dan and I, Starburns. You're just jealous because no one wants to be your best friend.
Just
I got Cookson.
Cookson didn't ask you to be his best friend.
Yeah, he's got Dennis. You're all one.
He's got tennis and then he's got James as a backup. You're like third in line.
He doesn't need a mini-me, Vern.
West Coast Hawthorn, what else happened?
West Coast have a really good record at Etihad.
They do.
That's a real stat, not a Dan stat. It's a shame no finals are played there. Oh, did anyone see the guy that was just in his jocks playing kick to kick?
No.
No.
But I heard about it.
He got escorted off the ground because he was only wearing jocks.
So this was after the game.
Yeah, jocks and a hat.
You can leave your hat on. Why did he get escorted off? Because it was kid friendly or something?
Yeah, it was kid friendly, and this guy had his just jocks on.
You let trade draft into that game. That's the more concerning thing.
No, we've seen trade draft skin once before, and Matthew Lloyd's not allowed to comment on that again. I don't know. Willie Rioli, probably the best Rioli there is.
Yeah, we'll move for Vola. Give that one a go.
Oh,
Seems to have a bit more personality than boring as batshit Daniel. He's very vanilla.
he's a little bit.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah, Willie Rioli was good. Did Jack Darling play? Crowbro seemed to feel like he couldn't find him.
Fucking. Speaking of tone deaf, fuck me. Let's go to the next one, which is, well, the Giants. They are plummeting. Talk about a fall from grace. 4 losses in a row. 2 increasingly worse teams every
Yeah, they've
time.
not had a good season.
Like, I don't even know who they play next week, but if they've lost to Western, it probably doesn't get much worse. They could lose to Carlton, I guess.
I mean, they made Dyson Heppel look like a good player.
No one's done that in years.
It's not clicking for GWS. They have the talent, but they just don't have the work ethic nor the balls to do anything.
Need some balls.
I mean, Stringer kicked free. You let Stringer play well against you, that just says everything.
Yeah, no, it was pretty bad from them. I don't think injuries or lack of whatever can be blamed. It's simply they are a more talented team than the team Essendon put out there on Saturday night, and they didn't get it done. I think it's time to question, it is genuinely time to question Leon Cameron and say, what have you done to deserve another run?
Yeah, he's crashing the Ferrari.
He's the 18-year-old got the Ferrari on the P-plates and fucking gone around treating it like a Dodgem car. He's treating it like Buddy Franklin.
Yeah, I don't want to pay too much mind to the fact that Essendon won a game.
No, neither do I.
GWS are just pathetic in that they literally have had the world handed to them on a platter and make no effort. They just expect their talent to carry them.
They should be better than this, but they're fucking not.
Yeah. I'd be so disappointed if I was a supporter of this team, but they're lucky they don't have that problem.
Good note to move on from. North won in Perth, Dan.
Is the lid off again?
Sorry, I did hear what you were saying, but I couldn't understand it because of all the background noises.
I said, is the lid off?
Yeah, but then I can hear all this other clunky shit that's going on in the background. I can't hear what people are saying. Come on, best friend, what are you doing?
I'm outside now, best friend. Outside in the quiet.
Okay, good.
Good. Now talk about North.
Bitch. North won. North, I think, are the first or second Victorian team to get a win in Perth, which was interesting. Yeah, it was a low scoring, sort of wet afternoon in Perth, and we got the win. Nothing special from this game, just an average low scoring game.
I think you're playing it down a little bit. North very much exceeded everybody's expectations, except for mine.
Yeah, sort of. We're going all right.
You're going all right. You're sitting 5th.
Yeah, we're going okay.
You're sitting 5th on 6 wins. Everyone else predicted you from the spoon. Not me, but not your best friend Starburns did.
Yeah, well, he's just a little shit. I wouldn't worry what he thinks. But we're going okay. We might even win the flag. That seems to be the formula of success these days.
That's what
You
Cookson
missed
thinks.
you missed the 8. You end up nearly winning the spoon last year, and you go on to the ultimate glory the following year. Why not?
Well, Cookson thinks that's the recipe for success, so you're in. Congratulations.
So, could be a North Melbourne grand final. How about that?
How are they going to fill the stadium?
Oh, are you serious? The North can fill a stadium. That's silly. North played Richmond in a final 2 or 3 years ago.
Yes,
MCG,
North
there
filled
was
the stadium that day.
Oh, I
Yeah,
was there. I was
Close
there,
to
and
full.
I'd say it was absolutely 50-50 that day.
Fuck off.
The bandwagon was in full force.
Yeah. Did you go, Starburns? Just
Yeah, I
out of
did.
interest? You did? Oh, you did go to that one. Oh, that's
Yeah, I
good.
did.
So, did you go to Saturday's game against St Kilda?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did. How about that?
Yeah, what's
Well,
the point?
Good. That's good. Well, I mean, just lately you've been a bit fair weather because you pick and choose when you go to your
No, I
team's
didn't
game.
go to an away game at Etihad and fucking,
No, you
An
didn't.
away game at Etihad. It wasn't
which is
Perth Stadium.
literally what I do every year. I don't go to
I didn't get my MCC privileges at the Etihad Stadium, so I'm definitely not going.
You know what? That's not far from the truth.
You are a pompous little shit.
Dan, how many North games do you go to a year?
How many in total?
Mm.
In Victoria, I don't know, probably between 11 and 12, I guess.
Oh, fucking hell, I'd go to more Richmond games than that, you dickhead.
That's because you have like 1 or 2 away games and everything else is in Victoria.
Well, that's what happens when you don't sell games, man.
I probably go to more my team's games percentage-wise than you do because you're like the Melbourne supporters on Big Footy. You guys hate Etihad Stadium for some stupid reason.
Every fucking
Or is it
MCG
because-
tenant club does. You look at all 4 of those clubs.
Because you don't get your privileges to go to the Etihad Stadium.
No, it's just because if
do
you're
you?
at the MCG... Stop being
No, we don't
autistic.
allow your kind here. Have you tried scanning your MCC card at Etihad before and the little barcode thing goes red? No entry. Sorry.
You know what? With my MCC, it only cost me like $10 to get into Etihad, but I still can't be fucked.
Well, then you're fair weather then. So,
No,
I mean...
I go to enough games a year. I can't be
you're
fucked going
just
to the
a
Etihad
pompous
one.
MCC type that's like, no, I don't go to Etihad because, it's not the MCG and I don't get my fancy green seats.
The fancy green seats, those seats have fucking padding on them too. They're quite nice.
Oh, I bet they do. Nice padding for your pompous ass.
Full strength beer.
Nice padding so that you can actually see what's happening on the ground. Hi-ho. It's off to Etihad we go. Hi-ho.
I guess that's everything on North though. So let's move on to Dan wants to talk about Richmond. Clearly beat St Kilda.
Lucky to beat St Kilda, really. You looked cooked in this game as well.
Oh fuck! You're an idiot. 2 players down for 3 quarters.
Oh,
And
so
didn't
you were
kick straight.
brave, is that what you're saying?
No, we weren't brave. We just did what we had to do.
Oh, you did what you have to do. Because that's what good teams do. Is that what
Yes.
you're trying to tell us?
That's what good teams do. They do what they have to do.
St Kilda should have won that game. They hit the front by, 2 or 3 goals late in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Thanks to a dodgy goal review before that, but let's not get into that.
Richmond were gone. See, you're blinded. You think everything's going hunky-dory for you guys, don't you?
I don't think it's going hunky-dory, but it's we're at about 85% of where we need to be.
85%. Okay. I think you're finished.
The way we're playing at the moment is good enough to beat 15 teams in the competition. There's probably maybe 2 or 3 others that
Why not all of them? Aren't you the best team?
not West Coast at the moment.
Oh, why not?
Well, clearly because they're playing at a much higher level.
Team,
Oh my
aren't you the
God.
number 1 team?
Because just like Hawthorn in past years, we're pacing our run.
Oh, timing yourselves. Is that what you calling
Yes,
it?
there's some kinks to iron out. It's not exactly the same. Fucking, how do you not understand this?
No, I just don't understand your point of view. Your point of view is just really biased.
Your point of view is that Richmond's cooked at 8-2.
You don't look like the sort of team that's just going to win 4 in a row in the final series like you did last year. I don't even know if you're going to.
We didn't win 4 in a row because we finished top 4.
I don't think you're going all that well. I think it's a
Yeah,
little
I don't
deceiving.
care what you think, Dan. You have autism.
I think you've asked for my opinion, and I'm
You literally
giving
you
it.
made a stupid comment about Richmond being cooked a few weeks ago, and now you're doubling down on it every fucking week.
Well, stop giving me evidence to support my
There's
claims.
no evidence to support your theory.
You are. Richmond are playing accordingly the way I've predicted.
Cooked, getting W's all the way through being cooked.
Yeah, but that's the way you're doing it. It's not that fancy or the sort of stature I would expect from a team.
I agree. We could play better football, yet we're playing at about 85%, and we're still beating everyone except West Coast. How fucked are you when we finally get it clicking again? Premierships aren't won in May, Dan.
No, but I mean, you sort of hit the sore spot the wrong time of the year, and I don't know if you're going to make the finals.
No, the wrong time of the year to hit a sore spot would be qualifying final week.
Yeah, but what if you don't even qualify to make the finals? That's what I'm saying.
Jesus.
You might finish not.
Oh, come on, Dad. Let's be realistic.
I mean, it's a very even competition. I mean, they're only...
Yes, and that's why it's very good to have 8 wins already.
You get all defensive when I talk.
No, because it's fucking stupid.
No, it's not. It's just...
It's just based on you went, cooked.
I won't say anything about Richmond, and we can just listen to the pro-Richmond propaganda from the likes of yourself and Richo at the disco, telling us how Richmond is filled with A-graders like Lambert, Grigg. God. And can you believe that fucking superstar got a cheering off as well?
Can we go on that? How do you feel about Grigg getting cheered off?
No. Listen, be honest and fair for once regarding Richmond for a change. At least level with me by saying that him getting a cheering off is not warranted.
Unlike you, I don't give a fuck who gets a cheering off, Dan, so yes, he can have one.
You are soft.
He's a premiership hero.
He's a premiership hero. Are you serious?
Ruckman.
What, because he got a hit out in the stats column, he's a ruckman? Not even a good player. He's a fringe nothing player that got a lifeline at Richmond.
Pretty good lifeline he got, I think.
You think he was worthy of getting a cheering off, yes or no?
Literally, I just said I don't set rules on who gets cheerings off. I don't particularly care.
I'm not asking you whether you set rules or not. I'm asking you whether you think he deserves it or not. Yes or no?
Yes, because I don't set the bar as high as you do on cheering offs.
Well, it's a low bar. No wonder for a little short ass like you, you set the bar very, very low.
So is he less deserving than Goldstein of getting a chair off?
One is an elite ruckman in the competition.
One's a premiership ruckman and the other one's not.
I thought I set that up very nicely.
One
Thank you.
It's not even comparable. It's so stupid.
Well, Jared Blair got chaired off once, but he's a premiership hero, so it's okay.
Well, I mean, did Martin Pike get chaired off for every game he played in his last year? I mean, he was a 5-time premiership player.
No, because you only get chaired off at a milestone. Fucking, do you even chair off?
Might as well chair off. Everyone gets a chair off at every game now. Why not?
This is just like the tree and Richmond being... It's just like you've got these things. Like, no wonder Cookson made the autism comment. You have so many things that you cannot let go.
And these things are things... Listen, I say things that people don't have the nerve to say publicly. But they think privately themselves. Whereas people like you are offensive, who just don't say anything interesting at all because you take no risks. You're a coward. That's what you are. You don't take any risks. You just play it safe every
Am I the Andrew Mackey podcast now too?
I've had enough of Richmond St Kilda.
We didn't even talk about it.
What about Jake Carlisle? Was it worth suspending?
It was worth 1 week.
No, he actually deserved. I'm actually gonna use a Survivor terminology. He actually deserved immunity idol for hitting Jack Rewalt. And if he ever gets suspended again, he can use his immunity idol to get off.
See, you failed the cunt test, Dan.
I fail it every week. Who cares?
Let's go to...
Yeah, enough. You've been talking about Richmond too much. Let's go to the next game.
You are fair dinkum.
Richmond. That's all you talk about, man.
Geelong were unconvincing at the cheat ground. against Carlton. Not quite how we thought it would go last week.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Them balls of us.
I'm not sold on the magical trio. I mean, they've been fairly average this year.
They have. Look, honestly, the way it's going at the moment, if North keep winning games, I reckon it's Geelong's spot in the 8 that's up for grabs at the end of the season.
Of the teams that are in the 8 now?
Well, no, just like people expect Geelong are going to be in the 8. I think it's Geelong. If North keep winning games, it'll be Geelong that they displace out of the teams people expect
Geelong
to be
or
there.
Richmond, maybe.
We're fine because I'm thinking the top 4 at the moment are fairly well placed. Then you have the Colas and Port and Collingwood at the moment are through their rough trot. Shut the fuck up, Dan. It's really probably only the one spot left when it really shakes out.
Yeah, and I think North play Geelong down at Shithole Stadium, and then they play 4 games in a row at Etihad. And given the way they play at Etihad, there's a fair chance that they could be 10-5.
And Geelong could easily lose track with them from there. And
by that point, you're fucking a bee's dick away from being in the 8, like, finals.
The way it looks at the moment, you could almost draw a line, unless the Giants somehow, like the Giants may be capable, but nothing on available evidence suggests it. But I'd say there's probably only 9 teams going for finals at the moment, and Geelong look the most vulnerable.
It's good to be one of them for once.
Yeah. Playing on your home deck against fucking Carlton, you can only get up by, it's a tight game until quite late, and it was basically Carlton mistakes that let them back into it.
Gary was terrible again.
He had 25 disposals though, didn't he?
Yeah, but they weren't 25 good ones.
Mm-mm.
Looks his age. It was also bad seeing that Radigalia guy just get a shocking injury.
Yeah, because fucking Dangerfield himself couldn't help but get involved in the contest. It's Danger's fault, isn't it?
Yeah. Apparently Dale said he heard him scream from 30 metres away. That's how bad he was in pain.
Yeah, that's what happens when you break your leg. It hurts. Imagine if his teammates started coming up to him and started laughing at him.
Abler could do that.
That would be.
Abler could do that for a winner. He could just laugh at you and say, God has intended this.
Did God fail the cunt test too, did he?
Yeah.
Nah, I just think there is a lot to be concerned about for Geelong.
They're cooked. And not in the Richmond way.
No, in the real way.
No, they're not that bad. They'll be alright.
Yeah. Brisbane are starting to show a bit. They pushed the Colas to, was it 13 points in the end or something like that?
18 points. It's
18.
Respectable.
Yeah, but they were in it till pretty late.
It's very respectable.
No Buddy, no Sydney. Like, even if he still played, but they're going to have to get Buddy to get bags if they're winning anything.
Dane Beams played well, stepped down from the captaincy during the week. Morgs.
Yeah, saw that.
Pretty brave of him, I thought.
No, can't. I'll fail the cunt test if I comment on that.
Let's move on to Collingwood Dogs. Well, if you're a Dogs fan that still wasn't gooing over the game 2 years ago, or a month from 2 years ago, you'd have to be concerned by just how much they can look very good for a brief period and they can look amongst one of the better teams in competition for about a quarter, and then for 2 to 3 quarters can be basically Carlton level. And we saw both on Friday night.
For 3 quarters, they were completely outcoached. They were outworked. They were outmuscled. The first quarter, they were fantastic, but then it all fell apart, and Bevo had nothing. There was no strings he could pull. And I don't know where that player that everyone gooed about, that Marcus Bontempelli guy, went, but whoever wears the number 4 now is an absolute hack.
What the hell is Maxon Cox trying to do with Jason Johannesson?
I thought he was a little bit lucky. A few years ago, that got you a week.
He's a very dumb tree.
Cut him down.
Let's cut him down. I thought the Tribunal were going to cut him down, but he got off.
Yeah, I was surprised.
That's the joys of having the MRO being one of your players.
No, I think that's just the fact that now you can't tackle, but you can bump again, which is just
absurd.
There's a lot.
Is he too tall to tackle him? Is that what his defense was?
Literally, I think they just excused him because he's tall and clumsy.
Because he's big and dumb.
I can't think of much else out of this game.
When we got in there, we were sitting in our seats, and my mum goes, "Oh, I forgot to get a record." she has to have a record so that she can mark down the goals. Whatever. I'll go get her once, and Elle and I run outside, get her record, and I'm walking back and I'm coming past the TAB. And the teams had already run out onto the ground, so I was very close to the start. But I thought, you know what, I'm just going to put a bet on. $20, first goal. Went through the list and picked a player and was like, yep, all right, he'll do. Collingwood, Tom Phillips. Delicious.
Was it the one you had in the thread, most goals?
Oh, no, I forgot to put that in.
Oh.
So I got Chris Mayne. No, but I won $420 on Tom Phillips kicking the first goal. So that was great.
Bad.
So when it was quarter time and we hadn't given any help except kick the first goal, I couldn't have given a fuck because I went and collected my $420. I was like, oh, I'm sure this will turn around eventually. In the meantime, I'll count me dollars.
See, Starburns, that's something worth getting upset about if you don't win. Not $35 over some petty little cash because for solo buggers you out of his $35. That was your autistic moment right there when you went on and on and on about.
No, that was my drunk moment. But Dan, that is completely different to. She would be absolutely within her rights if Phillips, say, did a Tim Membry and missed from the fucking goal square or something.
Well, because it's $400, yeah, that
yes,
makes sense.
But he kicked the goal and he didn't miss a sitter. So do you not get the argument or how they're different?
But
No,
if Jordan De Goey, who gave him the ball, hadn't have passed it to him, I would have jumped the fence.
Yeah, see? That's
but
when
you get $400 for riding on it, not $35.
profit is profit, Dan.
Well, maybe that seems like a lot to you because you're a little. Yeah, okay, all right. Little wins, a big wins to some people. I don't know.
Oh, jeez. Back to Collingwood. What else we got, Morgs?
Nothing. We're keeping the lid well and truly on. We got through this game. We'll play Freo on the weekend, and hopefully we can get to 7 and 5.
What is it with your supporters starting fights at Collingwood games?
I don't know. I haven't seen the video, but I've seen a still of it. Were they well-dressed ones, or were they ferals?
I think one was in the Medallion Club and the other was somewhere else. But the common link is Collingwood supporters.
Yeah, there's
I don't know what they have to be unhappy about.
The shit fight over, though. It makes no sense.
Don't know. Maybe someone brought up bathwater.
One of the guys that they caught from the more recent ones now has a ban from the stadium permanently, which means forever. Starburns. So yeah, they're now banned. They can never go to Etihad Stadium again, or Marvel Stadium from now on, unless he dresses up as Spider-Man and no one will see his face. You wouldn't have this sort of barbaric sort of behaviour at the MCC, now would you? No.
You know what? Occasionally,
they don't even
it has been known to happen a couple of times.
Because we're above that.
The most delicious fight I ever witnessed in the MCC was a couple of bays over from me in Sheedy and Hurd's last game at the MCG, and the crowd there was like 80,000 there, and like 70,000 were Essendon supporters there for the occasion. And the fight in the MCC was between two Essendon supporters. It was clearly because by that stage, Sheedy was washed up. So I'm guessing it was probably a fight because we beat them as well. So that was nice. And as the game wound down, I think one of them must have mouthed off about how great it was that Sheedy was fucking off at the end of the season. I guess they didn't take that too well. So yeah, that's the only fight I've personally witnessed. Though apparently Queen's Birthday ain't bad for one either. It's happened a couple of times then. So it does happen, Dan.
Oh, it does. It does happen in the prestigious MCC area. What happens if you are caught fighting in the MCC? Do you lose your membership?
Yes, you do.
Why do you sound South African?
I was about to say why South African.
Do you lose your diplomatic immunity? It slowly went Pommy English and then it went to Afrikaans. Oh, shit.
Talking points. The Marvel Stadium. So, yeah, this is one of those really interesting big footy rumours that we had for well ahead of time, except nobody believed it.
What, the renaming or the actual naming of Marvel being...
Naming at Marvel Stadium was on the Scandals and Rumours board about 6 weeks ago.
How about that? Oh, well, good for whoever came up with that.
Bunk Moreland, I believe it was. So, what do we think about Marvel Stadium being the nickname.
Oh, it's better than Eddie had. It's already better than Eddie. Anything is better than Eddie had.
I love it.
I think the funniest thing is all the looking over. It's like, what is this? What a joke! Blah blah blah. It's like, how is naming it after a fucking comic book publisher or film movie studio or whatever the fuck you want to describe it as any worse than an Arabic airline or a fucking Australian
Phone or a phone
telecom
company.
Yeah.
Oh, who cares? I like it.
The name will actually be funny, you know. It'll make for some entertaining sort of...
What would be
Time.
funny is if you had various superhero people dressed up running on the ground during a game.
Well, don't Carlton already do that?
Yeah, like Captain Carlton.
Oh,
I'm
God.
talking about spectators, though, running on the ground during the game.
What, in like costumes?
Yeah.
We're going to see
there's
cosplay at the
Spider-Man, he's
football.
Yeah, cosplay whilst you were running on the ground. There you go.
Cosplay. Cookie, you'd be down for that.
Sure, why not? I'll just whip out my Spider-Man suit.
Maybe that's what old mate was doing. Kicking the ball on the ground. He was getting into his superhero thing with his jocks on the outside.
But he forgot to put the suit underneath.
He forgot his lycra, but he still wanted to go ahead. Or his Captain Underpants or something. Like.
So with,
Hilarious.
like, Marvel Stadium, how would Strapper react to it, though? Would he need to see every game twice to make a joke on it?
He's more of a DC fan, isn't he?
Oh, who knows? He's just a fucking fat idiot.
What, a DC fan like Hamish?
Yes, like fucking... Let's go to Hamish.
What do you do?
Hamish was getting into the spirit, Dan, of Marvel Stadium on game day, and decided to wear a Superman shirt on the set.
Oh, isn't Superman part of the Marvel universe?
No, he's part of the other one.
Well, I mean, I know that, but that's just a common mistake. I mean, that's not that bad.
It is when
Well,
you're in charge of the league.
I bet a lot of people make that assumption anyway.
If you were to cast a cursory glance at some of the Marvel films that are made, you would realise there is no Superman
I know,
movies.
yeah. Look, I know that we all know that, but there are people that probably make that mistake and just assume that it's just
How much
all
research
the same.
does that take?
Oh, yeah, I suppose. I don't know. I mean, I don't like the guy. I mean, I know he's a bit of a wanker, but he's not as bad as Basil. But it's not exactly a hanging offence. We'll be wearing a Superman.
He's
Sure,
not as bad as
thinking it
Basil.
was-
That's the
Yeah,
second
but
time
it's
you've said
Hamish.
something
So
like
fuck
that,
it.
where you've talked about two things that are bad and you've said one of them's not as bad as the other. And it's just like, yeah, but they're both pretty shit.
Yeah. Basil would probably try to dress up as a Power Ranger or something, and they just have no affiliation with either.
What's something that's got a big nose?
Oh, Pinocchio.
Pinocchio.
Pinocchio, because it's Disney. It is a weird decision, though. The
What does it
naming,
mean to
actually.
fans, though? If it do the fans benefit from this at all? Like,
There's going to be a Marvel store at the ground, so all the esports guys, when they get reeled out into the crowd, can buy the figurines whilst they're
Jose,
there.
come on down. Get your fucking Superman outfit and all the necessary shit in
Figurines.
there. Figurines as well. You can play with your figurines, Jose. That's cool.
I'm also hearing that the AFL have gone all in on potentially playing around with naming of things, like concourses or bays.
You reckon they'll
Featuring
give the Lockett end and the Coventry end for Marvel superhero
Well,
films?
Those aren't exactly sacred, but I think still the AFL, like they should be, but I think still the AFL will preserve those. But I think they're going to maybe, the rumour is that, yeah, that some of the gates might, you know, you might end up with the Iron Man gate.
The Four Kitchen.
I like it. I think it's funny. Like they should name the gate that's near like that green spiral or whatever it is. Make that the Hulk gate. Or
You don't think they've sort of gotten this at the back end of the whole Marvel sort of fanfare? Because are they going to make any more? They're going to make any more of these sort of superhero movies after the Avengers movies are finished?
Yes.
You make a very good point, Dan. They've signed it for 8 years, but as far as I'm aware, Phase 3 only has like 4 movies to go.
Like they should have, if they could, the timing of this, they should have done it like maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Yes, I agree. And that was the first thing
Yeah,
I
but-
thought of.
but their naming rights probably weren't up for grabs then.
No, the AFL didn't own the joint either.
That's true. Yeah, fucking Eddie had.
Perhaps, though, they will, like, Marvel Studios is owned by Disney.
Yeah, so Disney actually bought it and
Yeah,
decided to name it Marvel. Why couldn't they call? I wanted it to be called Mickey Mouse Stadium.
Okay, well, why can we have it? I would like to have a Darth Vader end of the stadium. That would be cool.
That's my point. When they've rolled out the end of their Marvel franchise as it is, they'll rename it something else. Like probably not Star Wars, because I reckon they'll have let that dry by then
wins
too.
the toss, and he'll be kicking at the Vader end of the ground. That just sounds cool already.
You can guarantee that the Vader end is your end because he always kicks to your end first, which annoys me. You should kick to your supporters' end in the last quarter if you're playing inside and there's no win.
Vader end. I do like the sound of that. What else could they have? Like naming wise.
Well, Disney now are into Simpsons, so we can have the Homer Simpson wing, Chief Wiggum Police Station.
What else does Disney own? They own ESPN, don't they?
They do.
Oh, the Stephen A. Smith Journalistic Center.
No. They could find the quiet room where you take your children and call that the Stephen A. Smith room. The people who talk too fucking loudly.
Well, you're going to miss out because you don't like going to Etihad Stadium, do you?
Well, yes, I'm shattered.
You're just going to have to stick for the pompous MCC green seat person that you are. No Marvelness for you.
Well, Richmond play one home game there a year. I'll go to that.
And you don't
That's
go?
what my membership gets me. No.
Or do you?
I do. We play Sydney there on a Thursday night. I'll go.
Really?
Mm.
But you'll have to pay to get in.
No, I won't, because it's my fucking membership's already paid for it.
Oh, so it does. So it does give you entitlements to getting into
my
the
Richmond.
ground.
Oh my god.
Or are you a Richmond member as well?
Yes. Does that make it okay?
But you're not recognised as an MCC member when you go to Etihad, aren't you?
No.
Like the Medallion Club people think you're little and not worthy, don't they?
Well, fucking hell. What else we got on Marvel Stadium?
I like the name, but beyond that, I'm not overly fussed. Do we have any examples of other stadiums that are called Marvel and what they do at those?
No, this is actually really unique, which is cool, because it's how many stadiums actually would have something named after it that's genuinely cool instead of just some boring fucking and you could argue Marvel is a boring corporation.
I don't know, that stadium in Townsville, the 1300 Smile Stadium, that's always named after something cool.
1300 Smile?
Is that what you call if you're sad as fuck?
Is that the Depresso hotline, is it? That's not a great name. Hang on, isn't the 1300 numbers for, adult conversation, bloody late night?
No, not exclusively.
No? Hi, I'm Catherine. You've called to talk to someone. Who would you like to talk to?
It's an Australian dentistry business.
It costs you $5 a minute to speak to one of those bitches.
How do you know that, Dan?
Because it says it so on the screen when you see those late night advertisements. It's not even worth it.
How do you know it's not worth it?
Well, you try everything once.
They should put Suze on one of those.
Oh, no.
Cunt biscuit.
Yeah, she would just swear at you and tell you to F off. It's like, no, but I called you. I don't care, dickhead. Go away.
No, I can't think of much else out of the Marvel Stadium thing. It's cool.
Yeah, I like it.
I hope they get Chris Hemsworth out to open it, or for the official unveiling, or whatever the fuck that is.
Well, he probably would if it was a Bulldogs game. First game he's been to since the grand final, just like the rest of their supporters.
Well, in his defence, he does have a busy schedule.
I can't wait for the memes as well. The first team that coughs up a big lead at Marvel Stadium will be like, I don't feel so good, as they fade into dust. Question time. Gornage wants to know which Horfy flog was having a kick in his jocks after the match.
Probably Bayer.
I thought it was packed lunch. Didn't look quite like the weatherman, though.
Could be Bosk.
Or lethality.
Oh, yeah, because
he took his pants off because he's fucking crazy. He didn't know where he was, hadn't taken his meds.
Yeah, time for another session with the therapist, I think.
Question 2, Gornage asked. Bulldogs versus Melbourne this week. Which team does Morgs hate least and why?
I probably hate Melbourne the least. I don't really hate Melbourne. I just think that they're pathetic. And their supporters are pathetic. And they've done nothing in a million years. And so, yeah. No, but I hate the Dogs. I don't hate Melbourne. just to clear that up.
It's also not a question from Gornage, but he did say if Melbourne win all 4 quarters against the Dogs this week, they will break the record for most consecutive quarters won.
No
Yeah, I
one
did see
cares.
that they've won 18 quarters in a row. But yeah, I don't think anyone's ever celebrated that before. But if that's what you have to celebrate because you've had no success in a million years, then congratulations. I hope you make a streak DVD of 22 quarters, no cup.
Look, all I have to say on that is, well, you only need to win 4 quarters in a row and you're playing the Dogs. So I think if you don't, it's a choke. The finish line is in sight. Melbourne would have to be favourites to do this, would they not?
So this is Melbourne's grand final.
This is Melbourne's grand final or Melbourne's round 23 game against Collingwood last year. So, of course, they're going to fall at the last hurdle.
Oh,
They'll lose the
seems
third
a bit
quarter.
unfair, really.
Yes, I'm calling them losing the third quarter and falling 1 short. Anyone else want to have a go at that?
I think they'll lose the first quarter and they'll just be out.
Do you think they'll lose the second quarter?
I think they'll lose the third quarter.
This week on the Bay. Thread of the week, what do we got?
Stare down another poster was a good thread.
Yeah, I did like Stare Down. Other
Dan
I don't
didn't
think
like
Dan
that.
didn't like it.
No, it's just a stupid fucking thread. Boss, you're better than this.
I thought it was
I don't
alright.
think he is.
Is it just me and Cookson who liked that?
Yep.
No, it was boring.
Well, I have a nomination as soon as I find it.
I liked round 10 changes in Porked Boys 04. R.I.P.
I've found the thread I wanted. It is by Juritz.
Oh, boring.
No. This was a good... You need to... If you haven't read this thread, people...
The name
Hey,
Ablett is synonymous
with mercenary, and yet Geelong fans primed their vein for more. I liked that. It was a good thread.
I thought it had a good second post.
Was that you? No, that's a real KP.
No, that was the real KP.
that second, because of that second post, that thread can have my nomination.
You know what? I'm prepared to go for that spread as well.
I also wanted to give an honourable to Jasny's effort, the Alistair Clarkson thread. I forget what it's called. The one with Clarkson punching himself. What about Clarko punching himself in the head?
I liked... Haha, okay, so wait, this weekend we get to play the Eagle Idiots in Melbourne.
Is that Jasny again?
Yes.
Tassie Hawks coach Clarkson is so passionate that he punches himself in the head when he loses. But yeah, I did like that thread, and then some of the photoshops, some of the work in there is not bad. Also, what did you think of Dibbles' thread, Morgs?
That he likes Mason Cox.
Yeah, he likes some Cox.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. What else did I find funny? Oh, Dibbles posted on a team board somewhere and got under the skin of someone. Can't remember which team board it was, but I liked his post.
Hawthorn?
Funny. Oh, maybe it was on the Hawthorn board. I don't know.
I'm trying to think of who he'd target other than Hawthorn. I imagine Hawthorn's probably like the obvious answer. But yes, Juritz's thread.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Flog of the week, who we got? Raskolnikov up to his old work on GD, I believe.
Old backpedal.
You could nominate Suze for effectively mashing on Pork's Morgs.
Yeah, Suze. Masher.
What does she mash on?
Porked 04.
Yeah, but doesn't she mash on something every day?
She does, but like she actually got the account banned.
Can you revoke her ability to report posts?
She can't report posts. She's perma-banned. She can't report posts. What she did was she sent Chief a rage-filled email, and Chief didn't know, so he booted the account. But yes, Suze. Anybody else got anyone?
No.
Nah.
No massive backfires, dishonourables,
Craffles for not being on here.
Lethality, because why not?
lethality. Because I
Jose,
think I divvied 3 threads that
being
said
Jose.
AFLM in the title.
Yeah, Jose can have my nomination.
Oh, hang on. Another honourable Vesties thread. Salvo's a week-by-week picture.
Oh, yeah, no, I liked that thread. Good thread.
Dishonourable for Flog of the Week. I think Subaru's been jumping up and down this week about someone welching in West Horsham threads that we don't give a fuck about.
She can have one. She can win. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
that works for me.
Yeah, give it to Jose.
What?
What?
I don't even remember what the reasoning was there, except that he's Jose.
There is no reason. There doesn't need to be a reason. It's Jose.
What about Suze?
Suze.
Jose. Yeah, I think turning a little person gets it. When you think about it, I mean, in another time, those two would have just been thrown into the ocean the moment they came into the world. You know, without a second thought. But in today's world, today's society allows all creatures to live, and that means they get to embrace us with their online presence and inane posting. But isn't that great?
You failed the contest again there, Dan.
So good for Jose. Every day is a good day for Jose and Stu.
You're so mean to Jose. I don't know what Jose ever did to you except exist.
That's enough. That's more than enough.
Next week's games. Dan, I think it's your turn too. Sydney versus Carlton.
Why am I doing? Okay.
How is this hard?
Everything I do on this podcast is hard because everyone just laughs at me. Whether I break my leg or I mispronounce something in the slightest way.
You didn't break your leg though.
Yeah, but I
And
made you
nobody
think that I
laughed.
did, and some of you laughed at my expense, and that just shows
Nobody fucking laughed.
what an inconsiderate, poor person you are. You showed your true colours, and I don't think I can trust you going forward.
No one laughed, Dan. That might be the funniest part about the whole thing. No one fucking laughed.
Oh, they did though. That's the thing. And don't you even dare edit that out when you upload this in a few days.
Even if there's nothing there, you're going to be a fucking conspiracy.
Don't even try to add funny laughs to it with your little sneaky edits either. Because I noticed sometimes you'll add extra audio stuff of your own into the podcast, and it sounds completely off. But you do it anyway.
Can you actually tell me when they do that? Because I've gotten really good at sneaking those in this year.
Yeah, I can tell. There's a difference between the audio that you record when you're not on Skype as opposed to when you are on Skype.
Yes, but can you identify any from this year? Because I've worked out a way to make it more seamless.
But I hear things and I go, "You never said that."
Yeah, and there's that too. It's like he didn't say that then, but
You didn't say that. Like Brad Elton's, "You never said that."
No, I didn't.
You added that in later.
I did. Nobody else knows.
Stop being sneaky, Starburns.
Yeah, little snake in the grass you are.
You'll win liar of the.
I'm not denying it. I've been doing it for years. Umpire.
Yeah, well, now you've just been called.
Yeah, you've been exposed now. I mean, now
What?
we've figured you out.
Jeez, Dan. 150 odd episodes and you finally figured it out. You're quick.
150 odd episodes and still no golden badge.
Yeah, still waiting for those.
I'm still waiting for Sydney Carlton tip.
Well, I don't know if I want to do tipping.
What's your turn?
Do I have to do it?
Yes.
No, don't be stupid. It's not my turn. It's just something that you lot say and make me do every week. All right, Sydney. I'll go with Sydney.
Jeez, that
Hello?
wasn't so hard, was it?
Hello?
Great to see Carlton on Friday night again, though. Really.
Anyone? No, it's terrible.
That doesn't happen enough.
Have no place on Friday nights ever. Hello? Did we lose? Did I lose everyone? Hang on, man. Hello? Testing, 1, 2, 3. Are we live?
Yeah.
Hello.
No,
Welcome to the Flogcast.
We're not
I'm
live.
Dan, your new host.
We could never go live because Starburns couldn't add any sort of cheap jokes.
Dogs versus Melbourne, Dan.
I'd probably go with Melbourne Starburns.
Why? You tipped the Dogs last week.
I know, that was silly, wasn't it? Well, it looked good at quarter time, and then it just turned to shit. You had the contrast of looking at Eddie's face and then Gore's face, and then after half time, it's like, oh shit. Hawthorn, Port Adelaide, Port, Suns versus Geelong. I'll go with the Suns.
Will Ablett play, or will he squib it?
Is he injured?
Well, maybe he'll just find a reason to.
Oh, you're just going off your little fucking... Oh, he's going to retire mid-season.
No, it's because he fucking always dodged games. He
Does
dodged
he?
interstate games. He dodged some of the return games.
Yeah, it doesn't like
Sounds
to
like-
travel.
That sounds like Trent Cotchin in a big game. Next, Essendon versus Richmond. Essendon will win by a small margin. They actually, I'm not trolling. They actually will win this game, and Richmond falling off a cliff.
We know you're not trolling. You actually believe it.
Eagles versus... See, now you're adding to the whole Richmond stuff. I just wanted to say my bit, and now you want to keep going back to it. You have to always have the last word. Can you conduct yourself in an orderly manner? I'm trying to do the tip.
I'm going to chuck something in after. I'm going to
try
chuck
to
something in when I
restrain
edit this, where I give you a nice smack down.
Just try, all right? We don't need a 4-hour podcast, just an hour.
The quickest way to that would be no more Dan.
Oh, see, look, he can't help himself. He just go on and on and on. Never ends. Are you finished?
Are
You
you done
poor
yet,
bastard, Dan.
Okay.
Professional
Eagles versus
victim.
St Kilda. I'll just tip a draw because I haven't done it for a while. North versus
Eagles versus
the Lions. I'll go with North. Collingwood versus Freo. Collingwood. Adelaide versus Giants. Adelaide. Thank you very much.
Tipped a draw in a while. So
Can you-
Eagles versus St Kilda.
Yeah, can we discuss that, Dan, or not?
We can if you want.
Why is the first side playing at home against one of the worst sides in the league going to be a draw?
Well, we get upsets, and a draw would be an upset. I mean, it could happen.
Okay.
I mean, who predicted Brisbane beating the Hawthorn last week or the week before?
You did.
It was a week before. I
That
did.
was an upset, but that was
And you
somewhat.
laughed at me, and I correctly tipped that right. Can you please be quiet? You keep chirping in with your little 2 cents worth, and we're never going to get finished. Anyways, you have to tip upsets occasionally. You can't just go with favourites.
And that's the one you
So
choose.
that's the rationale behind my tipping. No, you be quiet. We've heard enough.
Do you want to wrap it up then, Dan?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. This has been the Flogcast for round 11? Yeah, round 11. This is Dan saying goodbye because we've heard enough from Starburns. He's said enough. He's gone over his little quota. So
Joined by who?
Joined by Morgan Ashley.
See you later, best friend.
Yeah, see you, good friend, ally.
Best friend, not good friend.
Best friend. Who else? Cookson. Say goodbye, Cookson.
See you, Dan.
See you, Cookson. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.
You forgot
Bye,
me, you
Starburns.
dickhead.
No, you don't even deserve a fucking goodbye. You can just fuck.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Well, we will. We won't see Dan next week. He's on holidays.
Yeah, I might go on holiday.
You can't go on holidays. You've got a broken leg.
It's true. I can't really get anywhere.
We might make you crawl through a terminal like Kurt Fernley.